Hello, hello, welcome to full time. Wait, where is my camera? Oh, there she is. Yeah, I had to modify the setup a bit because normally the camera is on the shelf, just standing there. But now, as you had briefly seen, the 3D printer is running, and I was noticing that when it's speeding up, it shakes quite a bit. So it was like earthquake cam. So I had to put it over there to the window bench. But apparently the 3D printing cameras are working today, so I can show you what's in the printer. Now it's not working, of course. Of course it's not working now. So I swear a few moments ago it worked. So yeah. Okay, so I don't know why this is, but here you can see it from the browser. I really don't know why it sometimes worked and sometimes it doesn't. Very inconsistent, I have to say. But yeah, there is another power pole in the making, and of course today we will continue making our power poles, because I can show you something that I've built off stream. Last time I worked on the first power pole is already almost finished. I mean, this is like the power pole with all its attachments. We have like a big trafo up there. We have some spools and some like smaller brackets. Yeah, it looks quite nice, I think. I've coated it in silver. I don't know. I might have to add a little bit of like gray, so to make it more like steel, or like more what is it called? Concrete. Because right now it's like really silvery chrome. It's a structure paste, some sort. But yeah, I don't know if this looks too good with all silver. I guess I have to add a bit of gray, and then of course I might add some weathering effects, like some rust or some dirt, and also the spools might be a black color, of course. Then I put a little street lamp on, and yeah, basically I need 5, maybe 6 of them, but I guess 5 will suffice for the picture. So this is almost there, I would say. And then here is another one that is basically printed, sanded, and filled with some putty, some putty, so that it looks a bit nicer. I mean, that's just for a photo. I mean, this is way nicer than it has any right to be. It's sanded, filled with putty, sanded again, and now it's like really smooth, and I just have to glue it together like this, and then we have like the main structure of a power pole. This is the largest one. I guess I will only make one of these larger copies. This is like a bit shorter, and then the other ones I'm making right now are even shorter. So we have, this is the largest one, this is medium, and then we have the shorter ones. This is like 5 centimeters like size difference between them, and then also we have it like in a forced perspective, so they will appear significantly shorter. Yeah, but I will have to glue this together. Maybe I will do this right now so that it can dry. I don't know if my first of all, let me see if the tracking does well from this position. Is the tracking doing okay? Yeah, it's okay. So I really don't know if the glue is still working, because last time I broke the nozzle. But again, I don't know how much glue there is still inside. I've worked with this for almost 1 year now, so yeah. But apparently this super glue is quite good when it comes to gluing 3D prints. So it holds really well. Normally super glue, I'm not a big fan of super glue. Most of the time it doesn't do shit. But when it comes to gluing 3D models, this what is it called? It's a is it a PLA type plastic? It's really good. It almost works like in the commercials. You just press it together and then it's fixed, because you see, it sticks together. So it's almost perfect for gluing 3D prints. But if you try to glue anything other than this plastic, it might fail. I guess the only thing I managed to glue with super glue permanently was the handle of my cup, of my coffee mug cup thingy. And of course skin. Skin, it glues also very well to skin. Like I said, I'm already sticking to the pole with my fingers. Skin, of course, is also very gluable, but other than that, most of the time if you try to repair something, like in the commercials, something breaks around the house and you try to glue it together with super glue, yeah, of course it sticks together, but as soon as it comes under stress, like minimum stress, it break again. So yeah. Okay, so I let this dry. It's like a very tall needle, almost like a sword of some kind. I guess I can just... Where do I put this to let it dry? I really don't know. Keep this safe. I guess I can let it here. So of course, and then to lighten up the mood, another box, another unboxing, another figure arrived today. We will do this shortly, but first and most important, tea. Let me see. You can also refill my teacup. Just go in the chat, type !tea time, one word, and then you can refill my teacup. So I stay hydrated during the streams. I have my My Little Pony cup. Let me bring you a bit more into the action on the second monitor. Let me zoom in a bit here so that you can see. And then of course I have my teapot, my format. So all the good tea. Once again a green tea. Once again the pear and chocolate one. Very tasty. Also I can drink it right away. The what is remaining of the glue lid, so that we can maybe use it for the other ones as well. Because this one here is not let me see. This one here is just printed, so you can see quite some ugly like remains of the support bars there, and I have to clean this a bit with sandpaper, like really rough sandpaper, and then I try to put in some putty to have the gaps filled a little bit at least. I mean, it doesn't really matter because it's just for a photo, and I could like point this in a direction where the ugly side isn't visible, but then again I want to have it like nice. This is a smaller one, so I can do this today. And then we have here two already with the putty installed. So this is with the putty. Guess I have to once again recalibrate the camera. So I guess this is a good angle, I guess. So you can see just fine now. Okay, so this is like the putty. It's basically it's like a where is it? Somewhere over here. It's a Holzpaste in German. There is like German and oh, thank you for the sub. Frosty is here. So yeah, this is like, and this is, we've used this during the renovation of the house. So this is like almost dried. So sure not the freshest one, but I found out if you like add a little bit of water, you can still use it. So yeah, But normally this works fine for 3D printing if it's like fresh, but this isn't. This is far from fresh. It's a bit dried up. So yeah, this is, and of course now it looks even worse than from the printer. So I have to sand this, and basically you sand it all off. So it's just applying and sanding it off. It's a little bit like Karate Kid, wax on, wax off. So just a big waste of time. I can also like maybe start the laser cutter and try to print the small like cable binder thingies for the power pole again, because last time we saw that at least the material wasn't quite good. Maybe it's the print itself, that it's too thin, too fragile, and it falls apart. But I will try this again. And yeah. But first, before we start, let's unpack the figure. If you follow my streams at all, you might know that I do like short video each month. At least I'm trying to do it. This year, my month in figures, and where I tell you what I did and what I buy and whatever. And at the end of this video, I put together a small list of my top 10 figure picks that were released last month, so during March, for example. And my top pick I tend to order right away, so it will receive a couple of weeks later, and today was this day. So I've got this nice little box from Ami, and we can unbox the figure. So if you watch the streams or watch the video, you already know what's inside. And I will not unbox the figure itself, but I will tell you a bit about the purchase. So we've got the print, the Ami print. It's the same as last time, because Lane arrived last stream, the figure that I'm doing this photo for. So we have the print right here. I can show you. So it's the same print. That's the problem. That's the thing if you order with Ami and you do multiple orders 1 month, or like in a short period of time. Maybe it's 1 month, maybe it's 2 months, who knows. You might receive the same print. So I really gotta ask, like in my figure collection, if there is like a platform where you can trade those prints, or like, you know, not trade for money, but like send them to people who don't have them, and maybe you can receive one back that you don't have. Because I want to collect those prints, and if I have enough of them, like 40, 50, 60, I don't know, I haven't checked, I might put them on my wall in the office, like all in little frames, so it has to look classy. Of course I could just stick this to the wall, but I have to frame each one of them. It's a relatively small print, and I will put them onto my office. Some sort of like restaurant situation where famous people have their small portrait hung around. So yeah, but unfortunately this one is a little bit like wrapped and bent, so because it is on top of the box, and normally they take good care of the package itself, but it depends how the print arrives. So this is a little bit wobbly, so yeah. Okay, but let me put it onto the board. Is there a magnet? No, I can just stand it over here. So okay, now we have to remove all the... Oh, there is a thing. And here is the figure. Yay. Okay. So let me just kick out this box. And now first the figure. Here is the box, and yeah, it's Tiger with this nice outfit, with this like ball dress and with her wooden sword. Unfortunately, and I didn't have this with Ami a lot, usually never. this box is a little bit bent to the inside. You can see this. Maybe if I put my ruler on top, you can see there is a gap here. What is it, like a small thing, like the knife? I can see. I can go through this. There is a gap. So this is like at least half a centimeter. This is bent to the inside. So the box is a bit damaged. It's a nice box, gotta say. Matte, once again without a window. Also the seal is a bit like off, so okay. But I guess this is just, yeah, it's just the one seal that's a bit off. Once again, a box without a window. And I'm always advocating, or I was advocating for the longest time, for boxes without windows. And I've noticed this trend that more and more figures, even like premium figures, like scale figures, come out without window boxes. And I think this is the way to go, like for the future. If you like it or not, it doesn't matter, because let's face it, you have more space to show the character. You don't have to engineer like a separate layer of plastic. It might be even environmentally more friendly. So this is the way to go, I think. So yeah. And the thing about this figure is, I can't help to, I have to like take this into my collection, on my figure collection, so that I have like a digital representation of my collection. And of course, I can't help but read the comments, even especially when a figure was released and people are getting them like slowly. And I've only read negative comments about this figure, like an enormous amount of negative comments. Normally it's just about the appearance, but this apparently has severe quality issues in terms of mounting her to the base, in terms of how she holds the sword. And yeah, I'm quite curious, because I'm not the most skilled person when it comes to figure mounting. Most of the time I struggle quite a bit, because you know this, you unbox a figure and then you have to mount it, and if it doesn't fit right away, it's a bit frustrating, because you don't want to break anything. Of course you can just like bend it and stretch it, but then it's a little bit an odd feeling. And if you read like some comments that you need like a hair dryer and you can warm up the figure and bend the parts, yeah, of course you can do this. It's like, it's plastic, no shit, Sherlock, but this shouldn't be the case. So yeah. Also the hair should apparently are way more yellowish, like tiger's hair actually are, but this is more like a golden ochre situation here, but apparently the hair are much more yellow at the figure. So this is just like a desaturated photo, but yeah, I don't know. I will unbox the figure upstairs in the studio, and yeah, but I just want to show you this. I will just put her, like put her. I can put her where the camera normally stands. It fits perfect. She can move around, no worry. But the camera was quite unsafe there. And then I've ordered, normally I don't do this, normally I just order figures with AmiAmi, and I don't order like merchandise per se, not much, to be honest, because it's quite expensive, to be honest, with all the shipping and the taxes and whatnot. But I couldn't help but order a Valhalla t-shirt from, I guess it's a Cosper, yeah, it's a Cosper shirt. This is a large, they didn't have a medium, and I do like Valhalla, the game. This looks quite big. Oh my god, this is, why is this so big? Is this big? I don't know. It's like, normally you wouldn't think of it, because I'm a pretty tall guy, and I'm not like lean. I'm not chubby, but I'm also not like super lean. I have like a certain amount of body fat, I'll say, okay? So, but I found out that medium shirts fit most of the time perfect. I like my shirts to be like a bit more like body, like, you know, like snug to the body, because when I started like convention touring back in my youth, I always like bought my shirts or ordered my shirts for those like convention packages where you have the official shirt from the event, always in ridiculous large sizes, like X large or even bigger. I don't know why I did this, because I thought like, oh, I'm a big guy, I need large shirts, but now they all look like I most of the time I use them as sleeping shirts, but now I know that I can wear medium shirts. Cospa, I've already known that I can do this, but I guess this is okay. I will try on the shirt at the end of the stream, so if you want to see me in this shirt, you guess I have to watch to the end. Dorothy from Valhalla here. And yeah, it's quite a nice shirt. I mean, it's a black shirt. Yeah, it's okay. Those Cospa shirts are also a little bit like on the heavy side. This is a thick. This is like a winter short sleeve shirt. Huh? You can wear this in winter. Yeah, nothing on the back, nothing on the sleeves. Just the print in front. But yeah, it's Valhalla, and it says like Glitch City and the year. So nice shirt. Nice. I will try this on when I end the stream, or before I end the stream, because today I'm wearing a white shirt, kind of fancy, with my trusted Mr. Hobby apron, and this was like the attire that the apron was marketed. There was like this Japanese guy with a white shirt on and had like those apron on. So I might like buy some white shirts, some cheap white shirts, and wear them for the work streams, for the workshop streams. I might do this to be a bit more classy. No? I mean, I have to buy cheap shirts because even with the apron, I might like get some paint on them or some other substances. But I thought like, why not today wearing a white shirt, because I will make the a white washing machine laundry thing over the weekend. So now I have to at least put up my sleeves, tuck them up, so that I don't get them too dirty. Because I don't have many white shirts, to be honest. I have to use them for like official dress up, fancy party stuff or whatnot. Okay, so I guess this works. So what's the printer doing? Nothing. Even now even this doesn't work. Silly little thing. Okay, so it's almost finished. It does only take like 4 minutes until this is completed. At least then it will be a bit quieter. I mean, in these 4 minutes we can still try to start the laser print if the laser print is in a good mood. No, it does nothing, this thing. Okay. So we'll start the laser and let's see if the if it comes online. It's always a bit tricky. Hello there. Let's see if the laser comes online. Ah, okay. Let's see. And then I have to print this here. I've already enlarged it a bit. So maybe I will still enlarge it. Okay, at least it comes online. I mean, I can show you this, I guess, what it looks like in the program. Okay, it's like the Chinese cloud thing where you can print stuff. I never used the software that came with it, or like the Lightburn software, because I use it so little. This is normally okay. And now I have this small piece of cardboard, and hopefully it fits, hopefully the size fits. So I will just put this in here. Or I guess I can just put two of them together next to each other. because this won't fit onto one piece. One piece. Okay. I guess I have to tape this down, otherwise it might. Excuse me. I might have to tape this down because this bends a little bit. Let's tape this down into the laser. Okay, let's see. Okay. So this should work. Let's see. Yeah. The photographing isn't really working, but at least it should take a picture somewhen and update so that I can at least see where it is and maybe print it. Let me adjust. Yeah, okay. So yeah, it does barely fit onto one sheet, so I will just try to make the most of it. Because I can't cut it. I can't cut a file in this program, I think. So I have to do it like this way. And then for the settings, I guess I can just do this with like less power. Let's see. Less power, a bit less speed, and then let's print this and see if this is a better material than the cardboard I used before, because the cardboard I used before, they just basically burned away. So now it's a bit loud here, and then I will sand, and then it's even louder when I sand. So all the noise today in the stream. What you're working on today? Well, the thing is, I have a pop-up parade figure from Lane, from Serial Experience Lane. I don't have it here right now, but I might bring it here in the workshop because I need it for the model. And the thing is, I will make a photo where she stands on a street, like this here, surrounded by power poles, like those. And yeah, this is the model of the power pole setup. Let me show this to you. This is like the street ramp. So the figure stands here, like this remote control stands like here, and I cut it from a low angle, and the power poles go in the background like this, and with some cables, of course, that are hanging down from the power poles. And so we have a nice little diorama for the figure. So I just need to finish this ramp. It was almost finished, the base structure, but then I placed the figure on top of it. Yeah, thanks. Hopefully it will be cool. So I placed the figure on top of it, and it started to lean forward by quite a bit because I wanted to have it like a nice slope, but it was too little like flat surface, so it leaned forward. So now I countered this with a bit of wood, and I will do another layer of cardboard, so it might stand a bit more upright if I glue this here. Actually, I can just do this because I really have to let this dry, because after it's dried I will use this. This is like a terrain asphalt diorama thing. I guess it's just like basically glue and paint and some like rubble in there. But I like the package. It's from the same brand that my panel liner is, and I never worked with this, but I was looking for something that represents like a street terrain, but isn't like, normally you could use a bit of like those sticky foils you can glue, like model train people do, but then you would need a ridiculous amount of them, because model train foils tend to be really small, because it's like an even smaller scale. But this hopefully works well. So let me glue this onto the thing so that it can dry. Okay, so of course here we need lots of glue on those beams. They are important. And down here we need not so much glue, just to hold it in place. Spray some glue, spray some glue. So I might even like, where is it? Use a bit of cardboard and do this. I'm curious how the laser print is going. It's just noisy in here, but I don't know if it's better now or worse. And now I have to come up with a solution to keep this down. I guess I will just add some tape, because the first layer I tried to nail gun it, but this didn't go so well because there wasn't really a structure that the nail gun could bite into. So this wasn't really a good idea. I mean, it wasn't a bad idea either, it was just pretty unnecessary. Temporarily hold this in place until the glue dries. I'm also doing some, like, I guess, suburban structures on the side. Like there are some like lawns, like those Japanese garden things with some bushes. And of course for Lane is important those harsh shadows that are kind of plot relevant, I've heard, so yeah. And then of course I have to search for a background that is a real life background somewhere in the neighborhood that has those bigger power poles, those bigger utility poles that are carrying the real deal, the really large ones. So yeah. Okay. I hope this works well. Of course, then I have to add new holes, new mounting holes to it, so that Lane can stand on it. But I guess I have to wait until everything is dried for that. Okay, we'll let this rest. I've been meaning to watch Lane. I've heard it's a classic. Yeah, I've watched it when it was relevant, like back in my youth. I can't tell you much, honestly, because I forgot what it was all about. But it's pretty, like, esoteric, I think. It's not. It's one of those, like, anime classics where they really leaned hard into those trance vibe. Like, I wouldn't say it's like on drugs, but it's like a surreal story. It's not like a story that is grounded in reality. I think it's up to interpretation, I mean. So okay, so the print is ready. So this is at least one noisy thing that went off. And this one looks better. Looks better. I knew it. I knew it that it looks better. But if you can find Lane on, like, I guess DVD, I don't know if there is a Blu-ray or something, or where to find those older series on a streaming service, or I guess you can just download it somewhere. But I could imagine that the torrent might be a bit hard to find for those older series. And also the quality might not... What's up with this? Why is there glue on my plate? How did this... What the actual hell? Okay. Why is there glue on my plate? I have to clean this. Why is the hot glue on my hot plate? Okay, so... And the camera. Ah, there it is. Tracking works somewhat okay-ish from up there. So, yeah. This also was my first time where I messed around with the support settings, and this comes off fairly easily. I followed the instructions for, like, easy to remove supports. And when I did, it was like barely attached. And it laid down here at the print bed, and it started to wobble in the print bed. So it was barely attached. So I just reverted to some less extreme settings, because you could remove it like this, but what's the point if it's barely holding on to the support? So this wasn't like the preferred outcome. Hopefully it's streaming somewhere. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big anime watching guy, so I can't tell you where to watch. Like, I mean, I know where to watch the current stuff at least, but like when it comes to older series, I guess there is something to having like a digital, not a digital, a physical collection of things. Like my friend Oki always tells me, because he's a strong believer in physical media and has everything, like so many old school otaku do, having a big collection of like anime, manga and games. So let me just get this off. I mean, that's better. It's fragile though, but it sticks together. I mean, this is like really thin laser print for the power pole. It's better. It's not... I mean, it is far from being perfect, but I can at least work with this. Or can I? Can I wrap this around a power pole? Can I wrap it around? Yeah, this works well. It's delicate, but it works well. But I guess I have to... really lift this off carefully, so I can use this piece of cardboard. This is a special piece of cardboard. It's the inlay of a book we use at work, with like those paper sheets in there, where you write on one sheet of paper and it presses down to another sheet of paper. Makes an instant carbon copy, and so you just have to stop it somewhere. So you apply this sheet of paper between other sheets of paper, and if you have the book is ending, so if all the pages are filled out, you have a free sheet of cardboard. And that's with those tinkering things. You can never know where to find good materials. Okay, so I know that this works. Oh, silence. Wonderful. Okay, so on with the sanding, making a bit some some noise. I hope this isn't too obnoxious, to be honest. If I sand, I've got my sand blocks. This is like, there's like medium fine and super fine. There is no coarse. Of course, there is no coarse, so I have to. This is coarse. Just to get rid of those bigger. Bigger things here. So yeah. The thing is, I don't know if this is the last full time for quite a while. Also for Monday streams, Pla Monday, because next week on Monday we will start to renovate our garden outside, and as you might imagine, it's a ton of work, and I might have to. I mean, the bulk of the whole thing is done by professional work crew, by contractors. But after they left the work site each day, after they leave, like at 5 p.m., as contractors do, we have to might tidy up the place and prepare things for the next work day. So yeah, I don't know if I have time, or if I have time, if I have the energy to stream and to build. So yeah, don't know. I might try. I want to do it, but you know, don't be mad if I can't keep up the schedule. At least I have now tons of figures. I guess I have a backlog of 10 figures now that I have to film for figure reviews. So maybe late at night I can do at least some B-roll of them. It's not too stressful. It's just, you know, put on the camera and just let it slide on the slider and let the turntable do all the work, and you just sit there and press play and press pause. And so, yeah. It sounds like a lot of work. So what, the garden or everything else? Because everything's a lot of work. But yeah, the garden is, I mean, I hope we are done in like 4 or 5 weeks, at least with the main, I don't know. Is it a structure, or is this like the main agenda? But of course, I also want to have a nice garden, because right now it's not awful. It's not like a fairy tale garden where you have like bushes with like rose bushes, and you have to come and with the weed whacker and get the chainsaw out, and it's not like a jungle out there. Quite the contrary. It was for that, like we did like 3 years of renovating the house, and during all this time the garden was presentable, you know? Because most of the time when I see people building a new house or renovating a house, they just put the garden aside. It's just basically a storage area where they store like building materials. But our garden was at least presentable. Also last year we tried to have it somewhat nice, but it's a bit plain. It's just like, in my youth there were like trees and stuff, but over time they cut it all down, and now it's just basically one giant area of grass with some like stone slabs, like some paths and some whatnot. So yeah, I mean, I don't do a super elaborate garden because it's nice to look at and it's nice to have, but it's also a ton of work to maintain, and I really don't want to do this. So yeah. So okay. I also tried to rework this this power pole shape and tried to get it a bit better, but I wasn't able to do it. Every second attempt I did was worse than the first one, because this is like a thing I did in Blender, and I cannot work in Blender. It's like, it's awful. You can't even rely on like searches, like web searches, because if you search a specific task you want to do, it comes up with an explanation, but I don't understand the explanation. It's like, yeah, you have to do this and that, and okay, so where can I find this? Because Blender is like, unlike every other program I use, I don't use like 3D modeling programs, so I'm not familiar with those UIs. So I can use like a card thing, I can use like a illustration thing like Illustrator or Photoshop, I can use like a video editing software, but 3D modeling I don't know nothing about, so I struggled quite a bit to do this. Yeah. Maybe sometime I will have time to look into this, because I would have to start at the very basics. And I hate this. I hate doing like tutorials that basically don't have immediate results that I can put into my hobbies. One of my friends just started 3D printing stuff. I think it's similar to what you're doing, but lots of trial and error from what I've learned. Yeah, the 3D printing itself, I started with this workshop last year, because for the longest time I worked in an apartment with like very crude tools. So I'm a figure photographer for more than 10 years now, and I tend to build my own miniatures and dioramas for my photos. And for the longest time I just worked with the most basic tools one could imagine. What is a bit annoying, because sometimes you want to do like bigger and better stuff, but you say, oh, I can't because I don't have the right tools. But then again, now I have all those tools, so there is one excuse that I can't use anymore. And now it comes down to skill, because more option is not always better results. And without a 3D printer, sometimes I had to be like really creative how to solve a problem. But now I just look if there is a 3D file online, I just take it, maybe modify it a bit, print it, and then install it into my builds. So it looks awesome, but it's also a bit like disingenuous, you know. It's not, you're not doing all the work by yourself. But the 3D printing itself is surprisingly easy, at least what I'm doing, because I started with this like it's a bamboo, like the high-end bamboo thing that from 1 or 2 years ago, the Carbon C1, I guess. It's an enclosed printer because I wanted to have an enclosed printer because of all the dust here in the workshop that might accumulate. And of course, when you are starting to 3D print, you also join some Facebook groups or whatnot about 3D printing, and you always see like terrible things in those groups, like a Benji, like the small boat you can print that is a reference point that looks like terrible, and I think like, and then people are saying like, oh, I bought this printer for Christmas and we just started it, so it's like a brand new thing, and the print looks like this, and I'm like, how is it even possible? And also like those like dreaded blob things when the print goes wrong and it clogs the nozzle and whatnot. So yeah. Luckily I've never encountered those problems till now. I know sometimes I will be affected. I will come down here after a long night of printing because those prints basically take forever. Luckily you don't have to stand nearby and watch it, but it basically takes like half a day of printing is basically nothing for bigger things, and you come down here and the print is messed up. So, and then of course you have to repair and find the error by yourself. At least with the 3D printer, if you have like a big brand printer, you might get some help from the manufacturer, or at least some spare parts. Even worse is the laser cutter, because the laser cutter is your typical Chinese thing. Doesn't cost much, like in terms of laser cutters, and does look okay. Has okay-ish performance. But if something breaks, you are on your own. Good luck, because there is no. You can't just ship this back to the manufacturer and say, hey, fix this. You just have to look up the error by yourself. You have to shop the replacement parts. You have to install them. So, yeah. It's like with all those gadgets and with all those things. It's like magic if it works, but if it doesn't work, nothing but trouble. So, okay. Those are at least somewhat clean. But I try not to look into the 3D printing that much. I have a project in mind, and I'm think, what do I need for this project and how can I achieve a certain outcome? And I try to have like a tunnel vision for those projects, because if I start to broaden my vision and look around, I might get too distracted. So yeah. Yesterday I filmed the studio bits for the Marin review, Marin House Show, the Japanese VTuber pirate girl. It was fun. But still, I mean, I might even try to come up with another workflow, doing everything in Resolve now. Maybe this is the way to go. I'm so proud of myself that for almost 1 year now, since I have the new PC, that I switched my video editing to Resolve. Because, like I said, I normally stick with the things I know. Even if they are a bit outdated, but Resolve so powerful. It's like crazy. I've never worked with a more stable and well-running video editing program, and it's free. That's like the best part. I mean, I should buy the extended version, because at some point I have to use the full capacity of my camera, because the standard version only like accepts 8-bit video files, what basically is just fine for normal people that film with like a smartphone or something. But if you have a 10-bit camera, like I did, it's just wasted potential, I guess. But then on the other side, the camera can do like super crazy high-bit video files, and I can't really store them, or at least not much of it, because with those like high bit video files, I can just store like 2 or 3 hours on my PC. So I would need like crazy high storage volumes, like SSDs at least. And we all know how the price of PC parts is right now, and it might never come back again, so And let's be honest, it's like the same with like photography. You have an awesome camera, you make the best picture in the world with like tons of megapixel, with like all the like HDR and whatnot, what everything with like I don't know. And then you scale it down and you put it on YouTube or you put it on Instagram and people watch it with a smartphone display. That's so ridiculous. It's like you're starting with a nice filet mignon and then you feed it to the dogs. I just upgraded a bunch of PC parts. Prices are brutal. Yeah. I built my new rig last March and I was so frustrated. I looked at the prices like at Christmas 2024 and I was like, oh, the prices are were way down to like Black Friday and Cyber Monday and those things that are in October, November. And I built my PC in March. And I was like, I could have got this cheaper. And now, 1 year later, holy smokes. It's crazy. So now I only can hope that nothing breaks. And I guess maybe I can buy some used parts, like used storage volumes. But then again, you can't also buy used parts for cheap, because as soon as prices go up, and especially if you shop around for like more high-end parts where only enthusiasts have them, and they know the prices, they know the street price, and they adjust the price as well. So it's like if you try to shop around for used figures on my figure collection, yeah, good luck with that. I have a few figures in my wish list just for shits and giggles, because I will never buy them, because what's the point of buying old figures if 20 of them get released each day, like new ones? And sometimes they come up. First, of course, most of them are coming up from the US, and they are only ship within the US, so okay. And then the prices are ridiculous. I mean, come on, not just because it's a figure, not everything is a collectible. Not everything like increases in value only because it's like limited or not available brand new anymore. But yeah. I mean, at least if I buy something used, or if I sell something used, I try at least to reduce the price by the amount of taxes I paid, because most people don't realize everything you buy, a certain percent, depending on your country, is just sales tax, or it's just value-added tax. This has nothing to do with the product itself. That's the reason why some countries, Japan is one of them, don't include the taxes in their MSRP prices. If you go to the supermarket, everything is flat without taxes. Looks super cheap, and then you get to the counter, and then the taxes get added. Oh, so yeah, from the US, yeah. Yeah, tariffs. That's a whole other thing. So, I mean, interestingly, I'm well versed when it comes to like the political situation in your country, because I can name at least like three board members of the Federal Exchange Committee. But I can't tell you how our like prime minister is named, because I'm from a small European country, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, tariffs. I don't know how this works. I'm always like, when we hear about U.S. tariffs, it's just like, they decided overnight that you pay tariffs, and then I'm always like, come on, this is like, if we would decide something like this in our country, you would hear about it, and until you pay it the first time, almost a year would pass, because it has to be like discussed on, approved on, and then there is like a slow period where it starts, and you can like a transitory period, and so it's crazy to me that somebody can say, okay, starting tomorrow we will charge like 30% tariffs, and people actually pay this or charge this. So crazy stuff. So yeah, for once being in Europe paid off in terms of like shipping stuff. I mean, our shipping rates aren't great either, but at least our postal service is quite nice. There aren't any horror stories with like damaged items. I mean, I guess it helps that I also work in logistics, so I might have a deeper understanding when it comes to certain things, like shipping or transport or customs. But I almost never have like any problems with things that I personally receive. So if I import a figure from Japan, like the Taiga one, there is no custom to pay. Like, the only thing you pay is just the taxes. So if people say they paid like duty on their package, what they most often refer to are just normal taxes. And then of course you pay a small fee for the logistic company that they will actually do the import documentations. So, but that's all. But then again, now I have a friend who's working at a local like merchandise shop, like a real mom and pop anime shop for figures, mostly for figures, but they also have like some manga and comic stuff. And so I have like access to like wholesale companies, and now I'm almost at the point again where it doesn't really benefit me to import things directly, because if you go via a wholesale company, it's usually cheaper. even with the yen prices right now. Because for quite some time, especially pre-COVID times, it was so cheap to import figures by your own. Because if you bought them at your local store, they would like add ridiculous prices. And not because they were like greedy, but because they had like just poor logistic, a chain of vendors. The only thing is that I can get the figure relatively quick if this is like something I want to do. Because if I buy them locally, for the tiger, for example, I have to wait like 2 months until it gets here with the big boat, and until the container is dispatched and everyone got their batch of figures. Or maybe even longer with the freight routes are now closed. Who knows? I have a bunch of pre-orders up on AmiAmi, dreading getting the payment request. Yeah. AmiAmi payment request, of course, so funny because they come straight from Japan, and so they work like their work week starts on Sunday. When I have like most of the time, the first thing I wake up to is an AmiAmi payment request, because they send it overnight when Japan is already working in the morning. And so I'm waking up here at Central European time and check my phone, and then AmiAmi payment request. Or it's just a notification that some figure got delayed. But yeah. And of course, I'm also one of those people who don't pay in advance. So I've never understood. That's a thing. That's a good thing about AmiAmi, that you can just pre-order and you don't have to pay on the spot. Because there are so many other shops where you have to basically pre-order a figure, and most of the time you have to wait for 1 year or even longer, but you have to pay on the spot. Yeah, heck no. I want to keep my own money. Thank you. I mean, at this point, it's just really a gamble if the forex is going my way. But still, it's not crazy amounts of money, but still, I can just manage my own money, and when the time comes, I will pay. But never pay in advance. I've learned this when Nippon Yazan got busted, when there was this like, I've ordered myself quite a bunch of figures back then at Nippon Yazan. It was this like kind of shady shop, to be honest, but I never had problems. But overnight they just closed shop. They went like bankrupt or something, and basically everybody that paid for their figures in advance, I guess they never saw their money or had to like sue them or whatnot. I don't know. But yeah. Okay, now we're getting into the fine dust situation here. Scrubbing it all off again. The only thing that is annoying, it's a new trend that I'm seeing on AmiAmi, that I can't order certain items. It just basically says, oh no, that's not available for your country. So yeah. Yeah, sometimes this happens. I mean, I really gotta say, I don't envy those like figure sites, or like those, let's call them shops, but I know they aren't shops, they're just like fulfillment centers at best. Because if you think about like how many items, just regard all those like smaller items, like like stationaries and pins and plushies and whatnot. Just focus mainly on figures, like Nendroids, Figmas, pop-ups, scale figures, everything. How much of them are coming out? And you have to like basically provide them all. You have them listed in your inventory. You have them up for pre-order, so people can order them. And if I order a figure, I never chicken out. I pay them. Even if I don't want the figure anymore, I just buy them when they come up and get them. And if I don't like it, I will just resell it. But you have to put them all up for pre-order. People pre-order them. Most of them will never pay in advance, so you have to somehow like come up with a solution to you know, get the figures in advance as a shop, as a vendor. So yeah, I don't know. Sounds like not like a fun business, and I can imagine that some of them are getting underwater if situations are changing. Like for example, post-COVID, when everybody, because now I can really see that the hype about figures just died down a bit. Because a couple of years ago, basically everyone was like collecting and getting into the hobby, and I mean you see it like on the figure side with like new people doing photos and starting videos and stuff. So, but now it just people are already losing interest. So, I mean the tariff situation of course doesn't help, because US is a big market. I don't know if the figure market in general is big in Japan, because I can imagine that most of those people don't have the space to display them properly. So I guess it's much more the model building side that is popping up, because basically those are like smaller collectibles and you can just put some work into it and don't have to buy and just unbox it, display it on the shelf and buy the next one. So yeah, if there's a lot of cancellation, I can see that being a big issue with pre-order sites. Yeah. So I was also wondering how many individual like copies of one figure, of a normal like scale figure, nothing too popular, nothing too crazy, are produced and are sold like globally. So, and we tried to figure out how many like comic shops are in the US, how many comic shops are in Europe. We just like ask the AI engine and try to see if every shop at least gets one copy. But I can imagine it must be like in the low 5-digit numbers worldwide. Which is still crazy. I mean, the amount of figures that get released each week, each month, each year is so high now. I don't know how this works, to be honest. It's also the reason why I'm not like, I'm more often calling this not collecting but more hoarding stuff. Because there is no end game, if you be honest. I mean, I had a friend that started to collect like those really nice League of Legends figures, because for some reason League of Legends got a kind of a second wind a few years ago, especially in terms of figures. and they started to release really beautiful statues and figures. And she was always like, oh, I need this one, this one, this one, and it always sounded like I need this one, and then it's over. And of course, like a few months later, they release an even bigger and better and cooler figure, and you want to have this too, and so it continues. I moved recently and I kept all my figure boxes. Bringing all of them with me was a lot. Yeah. When I moved places last year, I split my collection with my roommate. Like we had a collection, like one cake, and we split it into 3 parts. One for me, it was the smallest slice. One for her was like double or like triple the size. And the last third we sold off. Luckily, once a year we have like the largest anime convention here, and they have this really generous bring and buy system, where you basically can bring up to 100 items, which is crazy if you think about it. But you can basically sell, as a private person, a maximum of 100 items. And so we did. And we basically sold most of our figures. But yeah, I'm also keeping the boxes, because if I resell them, it's not about the value per se, but it's like for shipping, for transporting, for handling. It's better if you have the boxes. Then again, I was like half joking one time on my figure collection, if somebody asked how to store all this, and I was like, I'm working in a shipping company. I can just take them to work, put them onto a pallet, store them into a rack, like close off the location so that nobody can touch it, and then just mark it with a big sign with like the name of my boss, so nobody touches it, and then it stays there. I've actually done this with like a few prototypes of stuff they built, and they found some of it. Like they found like cardboard models, and they were like, do you know what this is? And I was like, no, never seen this. They found my satellite that I never built. I'm also storing the wooden crate that the laser comes in at work, because it was this big wooden crate from China, and I was like, if I ever have to send this or move this, it would be nice to have the crate. So I just took it to work and stored it there somewhere. It's a healthy stream today. This stream is brought to you by asthma. It's great stuff. I can just, you know, so yeah. Maybe I shouldn't do this. Get all the dust over my keyboard. I might also just spray paint those power poles when they are finished with some primer. Because painting them with a brush was quite the work, so maybe spray paint is the way to go. I'm still on the fence if I should invest in an airbrush setup. I guess it depends how much more I went down this like model kit building rabbit hole. Like every Monday I try to work on some model kits, like plastic model kits. Not garage model kits, of course, because let's be honest, those are even worse. Oh my god. I mean, making good garage model kits is really a great skill. I mean, I've not seen many talented people. I've never come across, especially in person, like online. Online doesn't count. There's always like a magician online, but like in person, I've come across a few people who can do like really cool garage kits. But there is so much work. Crazy. All of the big anime conventions in the US look like they are so packed already. I don't think they have stuff that... No, right, like every convention here in Austria and Germany, they have this like bring and buy, where you can just bring stuff and sell them, and you can just, as a private person, go there and buy stuff, like a flea market. And the cool thing about this is, I mean, it's like a really intensive thing that the convention has to put up, because you don't sell the stuff. You go there, you stand in line, you have to register, and you have to put it all in a form, or there's like some system in place, but basically you have to do this before the convention. Then you stand there in line with like bags, then you hand it over to a person that takes it in, and then you are free to enjoy the convention, or you can go home or do whatever. And when the convention ends, usually on Sunday, you go back and take all the things that didn't sell and grab your money. And most of those events have like a 20 item limit per person. Of course, like item is like one figure or one video game, or if you have a manga series, you can bundle them up. It's still one item. It's not just one book, it's one item, but you know. Yeah, it's really nice. And especially if you have like a local convention where you don't have to move your stuff. I mean, of course, there's always the thing that something could go missing, or if something gets damaged. And that's a good thing if you have like the original boxes, because I've seen like people who putting their like basically price figures or like cheaper stuff, but still into like makeshift boxes made out of like like some cardboard box, and they cut it out like the real figure box with like putting in some foils, and they went really creative, because some items are quite hard to pack, but it has to still be visible. It doesn't, you can't just throw it into a cardboard box and seal it off, because nobody would know what's inside. I mean, you could just technically tape a photo of it, but if a figure is easy to sell, because the figure has a box and you can see the figure on the box, and most people know how the figure looks. But if you sell like cosplays, for example, they are a bit harder to display. So yeah, but of course people are selling their cosplays because they don't need them anymore. People are selling their manga, are still you know, so many people selling their mangers, so few people buy mangers there, because it's just a thing that you read and then it stands on your shelf and you will never touch it again most of the time. So I bought one garage kit on my figure collection. I've been meaning to commission it for someone to take it for a while, but I'm sure super expensive. Yeah. Each time I bring up this topic, I have to remember myself that I still have one garage kit that is already sanded, so I just need to glue it together and paint it. That is actually like a one-off thing that a friend of mine created, like her OC as a model kit. I don't know where she made it and how she get it, but someone just casted a resin kit of her mascot OC thing. So yeah, and now I have it. And it's like sanded already, super fine, super dedicated. And I guess if I get some mad paint skills, I might attempt to paint it. Because that's the thing with those like model kits. If you build them and paint them and you start fresh as a person with like relatively no skills, you're anxious to make it because you want to have it look nice. If I do this, like those things for the photo, it doesn't have to look that nice. It's just for one picture. You can modify the picture, you can alternate the picture for certain imperfections, and after that I just throw this away most of the time. So I don't have this on display all the time. But for like figures and like plastic model kits, that I have to look at constantly, would be better if it's not garbage. And then of course you have the pressure of like your friends when you have like this super special kit they want but they can't buy because it's not available, and you have it, and then you build it and then you paint it and it doesn't look that great. It's like having like some rare TCG cards, like some Pokemon cards, and basically rip it to shreds because it devalues the kit so much. So basically, you would need to buy every kit twice and start with the hobby and build it, and one kit you let like unopened. And once you have enough experience and once you are a pro, you come back to those kits and you build them again. I can understand why so many adults get into Lego. You don't have the problem with Lego. So much dust. Maybe I have to drink a bit. But then again, I'm not really dedicated to any of this. I'm not a model kit guy. I'm not a garage kit guy. I'm not a doll guy. I dabble in all of those things a bit. I'm not a video guy. I'm not a photo guy. Those are just tools for me. The thing I really enjoy is coming up with a plan, with a scenario, and try to realize this plan and put it into motion and put it into reality, regardless of what I need. It's just one unique project, and then I will just move on to the next one. Also, I don't like to do the same thing over and over again. So if you look at my photos, they look totally different each time. So, and that's the thing I enjoy, like doing miniatures and dioramas. One day you build a power pole, the other day you build a pirate cannon, then you build like what was it, a satellite, or like a Christmas scenario or a Halloween scenario. It's always another thing. But this also means that certain technicians, I have to use them once and I might never encounter them again. Or for a long time at least. Okay, so I guess I can just make the fine cut now. Super fine, yeah. And that's even finer. It's like a workout. This sanding is quite intense, I gotta say. Now that the temperature is rising again, even in the workshop, I mean, it's still a bit chill inside here, but not as cold as it was during the winter month. In a few weeks I might have to switch from tea to like a couple of cold ones during the streams. I mean, the tea was nice during the winter month, but not so much in the summer. Can you even drink on stream? Is this allowed? I don't know. Because streaming is one of those things I also started 2 months ago. I always was like, streaming, waste of time, and like I would never watch somebody stream, which I don't do. At least most of the time I don't do. But yeah, then I thought, why not? This the thing with me. I'm always like at least a decade behind when it comes to like cool stuff. So I guess in 5 years I will start making my own VTuber model and rigging this, or start a webcomic. Yeah. I gotta head out. Happy you found your videos. I will look into your streams too, and good luck with the build. Yeah, thank you. I enjoyed this very much, Frosty. Have a nice day, and yeah, check back in. Hopefully every Friday, hopefully every Monday, and someone in between. So take care out there. Okay. So yeah, this was nice. This was I imagine, so that people can drop by, see me work, we can chat. Oh, it's nice. Because I'm be here with or without the cameras, you know. Doesn't really matter. If I do this sitting here, wearing these headphones and listening to God knows what on YouTube, or if I sit here and film myself and talking to myself, it isn't really much of a difference if you think about it. Quite the contrary, if I have like those super long projects where I can listen to stuff in the background, so basically just building, because if you do video editing, you can't listen to videos that much. You have to listen to the file you are making or to the video you're making. But if I'm sitting here and building stuff, and it's a long project with like 50, 60, 70, 80, up to 100 hours, I tend to run out of content. Because they are my go-to YouTubers that I watch. But at some point, they can't keep up with my demand of content, and then I run out of content. And I'm not the guy who tries out like new things that like look around. Sometimes I do. But yeah. And so now I have to entertain. I don't let people entertain me, so I have to entertain you and myself, I guess. So yeah. And since I only do this like one day a week, maybe a second day off stream, but 3 days a week, sometimes, but not that often anymore. Those projects tend to, it looks like they take forever. I mean, most of the time they do, but now it looks even more slow progress to the people, I guess. Because before then, I just focused mainly on one project back in Vienna. So I came home and got started on the thing that was on my table. So I did this every day. And yeah, so I had a bit more progress on one project. But now I'm working multiple things at once, and so yeah, not much progress on each of them. Also, normally I would do this sanding like in the garden, not down here, because it's quite messy, to be honest. I mean, I have like this pile of dust. This can be easily removed, but if I look through this on all the surfaces, it gets like pretty dusty. I guess I have to do a spring clean here in the workshop at some point. To remove all the things in here and just dust off all the surfaces. Yeah. So my new shirt gets already a bit like dusty. Gotta wash it first. Do you wash new clothes you buy? Like when you go to the store and buy some new shirts or new jeans, do you wash them first before you put them on the first time, or do you don't care? Or does it depend where you bought it? If it's like a Chinese thing, like from Shein, you might wash it first, or if you buy like real high brand, like high quality clothes, can put it on right away. I mean, I guess there was this one Dr. House episode where someone got poisoned by clove, like the chemicals in their genes. They absorbed it. Depend on the store. Really, yeah. Because if you listen to your parents, they most likely tell you just wash everything before you wear it. Of course, only the things you can wash. If you buy a nice jacket or like a suit, you can't really wash it, but yeah. Last week I did a laundry and for the first time this year I could dry it outside. That's always super nice. Because some way it gets a bit softer and fresher. I mean, I have those super nice what's it called, like deodorant for clothes that you put besides the put into the washing machine. It's from Rituals. It smells really good. I mean normally I don't care about those things, but this one really smells so good, and the smell stays in your clothes for days and weeks. That's pretty impressive. It's a bit more expensive than like things you can buy at the normal grocery store, but yeah, I'm quite impressed. Yeah. There are so many of them. Why did I really print so much of them? I mean, I start a print each day. I come home, start the printer, and usually it takes like one afternoon to print one of those poles. How did I print so many of them? Jesus. It's a never-ending story here. But I guess this is the last one. The last one that is already, yeah, that has the white stuff on it. The others I need to apply the putty and let it dry. So it's the last one, yay! So then finally I can do something else. For the last hour of the stream. Let's see if the ramp is already dried off, so I can try to put on this asphalt thing. See how it works. People said it's like pretty dark. Like it's like really black, and normally asphalt or like concrete street isn't that black. Only if it's like really freshly made, but then it gets gray immediately. So maybe it's better to mix some gray paint into the mix. I will see. At least it wasn't too expensive. And if it works, they have like different finishes, different terrain finishes, like concrete or like a sandy road, stuff like that. Okay, so I guess I have to sand this a little, make it even finer, but not too much. because this is still just plastic. Yeah, that's right. That was exactly what I thought, that it will be hard to cast a shadow if it's too dark. Yep. So I have to see how the color is, because basically I'm just looking for the structure of asphalt or of concrete. The color, we can change this. I mean, the photo is quite like whitish, because like they have those like overblown saturation in the anime with like some really harsh shadows and like white stuff and like dark black parts, but I don't know if this might look good on a figure photo, so stylized, because you have to find a mixture between like realism, toy thing, and like abstract stuff. So it's like, I don't know how to explain, but it's basically just, if you have a model train thing, like a small world, you can make it pretty realistic. You can even like go down with your camera, with your macro lens, and you can film it like it was like a real world scenario. But you will still see that this isn't real life. You will still see that this is a model train, even if it's like super detailed and super accurate. Like with a video game. If you have like a video game that tries to mimic like real life optics, like graphics, but you can still tell, that's not real life, that's just a video game, because it almost looks too perfect. And that's like, you have to strike this balance between so that it looks right. It doesn't look like too detailed so that the figure looks out of place, because there is a certain amount of details on a figure, and let's face it, those pop-up Parade of Lane, not too detailed. I mean, it's partly due to the character design, but also due to the like price point of the figure. And so if you have like this relatively plain and simple figure and a very detailed setup, the surroundings might look a bit out of place. So, okay, so those are the ones I have to, basically I can do this right now, I guess. I don't know. At least I know what I'm dying from. Let's see, where is it? There it is. I have to get this open. This is like surprisingly hard to open, and I really don't know why. I mean, I guess I do know why, but if the reason is so that it doesn't dry out, well, tough luck, it dried out. Plastic flavoring, yeah. I don't know if this is like plastic. This is like... Benzin, Talithalon, kann allergische Reaktion hervorrufen. So it gets like allergic reactions. Bei der Verwendung kann gefährlicher, lungengängiger Staub entstehen. No shit. Lungengängiger Staub. So basically it says this stuff gets in your lungs. So normally this should be like a paste, like smooth paste, but now it's more like... But as soon as you add a little bit of water, you can basically smear this. And if you press it, it gets into those nooks and crannies of the still remain even surface of the 3D print. And if I let it dry, I can just sand it off, and then it gets relatively smooth. And it also is good to paint, because if I sand this, it gets smooth, it doesn't really matter. But as soon as I apply the paint, you will still see those like print defects and those individual printing lines. So if it has to be nice, you have to do this, I guess. I mean, there are other methods. You can use like those silly little chambers with those like chemicals inside, where it gets like all shiny. Don't know what the chemical is. At least not in English. So now I have like dust, and I also have like some smearing paste. Yeah. In the tea. Hello there. Acetone. Hey, yeah, it's acetone. Acetone. I don't know. I know what it's like called in German, or at least I've heard it, but yeah. How's it going? How was the week? Good thing I'm wearing an apron. Okay, at least there is nothing much left anymore, so if I want to continue this this work process, I have to buy a new one, so it's also nicer to work with if it's fresh. Because basically we bought this for the house. We filled in some gaps on the floor and some furniture or something like this. Basically everything where wood was included. And the staircase. But this is some leftover material, and so I use it. Because I always like to use what is here. It's the worst. To shop around for things. And then you notice, oh, I'm still missing this or that, so I can't continue. Where is the small one? There it is. Where it doesn't belong. So I guess if I finish those, I have to clean up a bit here. Take a little break. Remove at least 99% of the dust. And then I can try to paint the ramp. Let's see how this works. But then again, I guess I have to make the holes new, so I have to bring Lane here and we can set her up on the base. On her temporary new home. And this time I might have to drill it, because this is now reinforced with some wood. And hopefully she stands a bit like more upright, not leaning to one side, so that this added contraption wasn't for nothing. So yeah, basically I started to stream a couple months ago, and what I don't understand to this day, I mean, I know that there are like custom made like, what is it called? Emojis or icons, emotes, I guess emotes is the right word, that you can use on Twitch. But what's up with those like standard Twitch emotes? Why are they so like specific? I mean, I guess they are like from different memes, but can I say this? I don't know how to use them. I'm getting too old for this shit. I suppose. Yeah. I'm not emoji native speaking. I mean, I know what the eggplant stands for, but and the beach and stuff like this, but certain emojis, I don't know how to use them properly. So why does Twitch have so ugly ass basic emojis? Is it so that the people buy the custom made ones or like subscribe to the people that so they can use them? I don't know. I really don't know. Because look at this mask smiley thing. It looks downright creepy. It looks like those like theater masks that you put on, where one is laughing and one is like whining. Is this just my monitor or did this the desk? Okay, so yeah, I will clean up the desk. I will clean up myself, and then I will come again with the lane figure, and we will set her onto her ramp and try to color it a bit. So be right back. Okay, so I guess this have to do. So now we have our ramp. Shit, I forgot lane. I need the figure. Oh, this dried up fairly nice. Still not there. So oh no. Oh no, I stripped the one layer of cardboard. The first, oh, there is the second. So we have already some structure in our asphalt, some damage, some weathered effects. Last time I used foil, it was too perfect, and I had to damage and sand it off so that it looked more real. So you basically buy a nice little pre-made thing and then you destroy it on purpose. Always a bit annoying. So okay, now we have this. So where is lane? Where is the figure? I put it somewhere here. I hope you can still hear me. It's wireless, but it's not the best. If I leave the room, it gets creaky immediately. So where do I unbox her? Where is the least dust? Because it's quite everywhere. Hi there, camera. Because I already packed her up, but now I have to put her here again. Okay, so on to this spot. Where is the thing I put underneath? Just in the right, in the middle. This one, this one, and this one. Okay, so now let's see how big those pegs are, because now I have to drill those holes. Cannot rely on a pointy thing anymore. They're quite big pegs. I would say like 5.5. Ooh, 5.5. There is no such a thing like a 5.5, is there? Is there a 5.5? Or should I take a 5? I guess I will start with a 5. Can go up every time I want. Is this a 5? I know it says on the box, but the box is messed up. Interestingly enough. I guess it's a 5. Is it though? Is it a 5? Let's see. Yeah, this sounds okay. So of course I will do this with the cordless drill, because let's face it, no need for fancy tools. Just a normal drill will suffice. So now let's see if she stands on there. Okay. So 5.5 is 5.5. So let's go one bigger. Here it says 5.5 on this drill. On the other one it doesn't say 5. Interestingly enough. So at least the two in front have to be bigger. Let's see. Perfect. Now this looks good. This looks good. This looks much better, should I say. Now she stands almost straight. It's not perfect, but I can at least work with this. Yeah. Much better. So thank you, Lane. Now back to your box. I will call upon you once the thing is ready. Okay, so let's see how we apply those things. From what I've heard is just like we dump it here, and then we can like use a board or something and just distribute it evenly. Really? God, I hate those. It's like opening a fresh jar of Nutella. Always annoying. Can't be done without a knife. Ugh. It's like black. It's like a very thick paste. It's like it's silly, but you know what this reminds me of? In structure and in color, like black bean paste. Black bean paste from the Asia market. And yeah, it's quite dark. So should I add color now or on the model? I guess on the model would be better. So there is a thing I can use to apply this. Let's see. Stay there. Aha. That's the stuff. But I need a brush, also need a brush, like a bigger brush. A big brush. Big brush. And then I need like some gray. Gregory house. Or should I don't have much white anymore. That's such a warm gray. Schiefergrau. Don't like it. What's this? Sand. The root sandstorm. I guess. I don't know. I don't have much white left. Let's try this. We have black things. I mean, it looks good, not gonna lie, from a structurally point. But yeah, this is way too dark. I can see why people complain about this. So let's add a little bit of beige all over the place. Jesus. And a bit of white. Fart noise. There's some bits in here. I really don't like. Interesting, interesting. Trust the process, I guess. Trust the process. Oh. Can I do this? Ah, I use my hands. Why is the hand always the best tool? This has to be like some methodical wild creature Neanderthalian thing. Always use your hands. Your hands are such great tools. Most of the time people are too afraid to get dirty, but it feels so nice. And look at this. Always use your hands. I can't even put this down somewhere. Not to get things dirty. It's so nice. Some bits in there from the white that fell off. So now I can use my second hand, because I have two of them, to paint the rest of it. Guess I have to also put this a bit up there. So first the black parts, black bean paste. Maybe I use black bean paste the next time, because I've bought it in the Asian market and I cooked with it once, and then now I don't know what to do with it. I guess cook with it a second time, but I mean, I like to eat other things than black bean paste. And now we have to use the white. It's annoying when nothing is in the bottle. It just farts around and does nothing. And then a bit of the sand colored thing. And then just mix it. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, 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 yes. And so fast with your hands. Amazing. Again, second hand. Hold it. Such a great thing. Okay. All I can hope now is that the cardboard withstands the moisture at the first place. And I guess I can just use this as a last touch. Hey. No? Hand, still the best thing. How does this look from a photo angle? Does it look like asphalt? I mean, yeah, pretty much. It could be a lava cake as well, but is it cake? Let's find out. Where is my knife? Maybe I tricked you. Maybe this is just cake. We can eat it. Not so bad, not so bad. So let's hope the cardboard doesn't get all messed up once this dries. That's my biggest fear right now. But other than that, that's quite good. Monkey brain, use hand. Apes together strong. So, let's see. Why do I even bother with this part down here? You will never see this in the picture. Doesn't make sense at all. Okay. Should I slap something? Okay, I have to go break again because I have to wash everything. But yeah, this is surprisingly good stuff. People said that it's too coarse for like model train scales, like 187. But for like figure photography, this is quite good. That's quite good. Gotta check if I can cast a shadow onto this, but might be good. And I guess it will be even lighter if it dries. Isn't this always this? This gets lighter when it dries, right? Hopefully. Okay, so I'm going break and hopefully for the last time. Bye. Okay, back again. Hi. So, okay. So this, I guess I have to let this dry. Yeah, looks good so far. Can I cast a shadow onto this? Yeah, it's possible, especially if I turn up the light. Yeah, it's possible. Shadow can be cast. Okay. Why is the tracking all messed up? Is it because I left the room? It's because I left the room, isn't it? Hey, camera. Here. Follow me. Yeah, it wouldn't be a problem if I can find the remote to stop this. Ah, here it is. Okay, so no tracking then. Let me sit down. I guess something got like messed up. Okay. This is the preset I installed. This should be like the second preset I had in mind. So let's keep it that way. Okay. So well, that was interesting. Not bad. Bought 2 of those tops because I'm a bit like scared to buying just one when I don't know how big this is. Because those Japanese Mr. Hobby colors were a bit like a disappointment. Like everything Japanese, it was very small, and so I was like, I mean, it's plenty of color. Like you need like 2 drops of them to paint your kit. So, but still, it's a bit. It's like if you buy like sweets in Japan. There's like this tiny of a package, and you're coming from a country where you can just basically buy a kilogram worth of Haribo and eat it in one sitting. So you always feel a bit silly. Okay, so I guess I can just glue those together. Let me bring you down to the action. I can glue those together because they are not perfectly sanded, but sufficient. I don't want to inhale any more dust. I mean, I have like 2 of them already here, and I guess maybe I have to print another one, so it's far from being over. But at least I can glue those 2. At least if I still have glue. It's already messed up. This glue will not be active any longer. But that's okay. I will buy a new one. And like I said, this is surprisingly, it holds together surprisingly well. I was thinking of doing a pack, to include a pack on the cut surface. You could just basically stack it. But then I was like, the pack would be submitted, lifted from the plate, so I would have to work with supports. And then I was like, I don't know if this is like good for the pack. When I have to clean it. So I printed this without a connection point. Yeah, it's like stroking a. I mean, that this has a gap here doesn't really matter. It's part of the structure, but it would be easier to connect this if it had a pack that could be used. So, oh well. But like I said, the glue holds surprisingly well. I mean, you could just still break this. Is it like straight? Not like. I guess it's straight. Can I drag again? Yes, very well. I guess it's almost straight. Not like. Yeah, that's okay. That's a nice thing. Okay. So this is the second one I've glued today, and now on to the third one. I guess I can still make a few of those beams, and then I will call it a day. Kent lies ahead, and I have plans, basically doing some pre-works in the garden to get everything ready for the construction crew on Monday. Started with digging a hole into the ground, and hopefully this works. We have to put some boards up so that they can work on Monday. The thing is, we had like really nice weather this week, almost like perfect spring weather. And as soon as the construction crew will start on Monday, the forecast is like the first 3 days might be light rain. So yeah, that's the problem with those outdoor work activities. Kinda annoying. Because if they can't work, they will go just home and not come back. Oh, that's perfectly straight. Huh. Not bad at all. So now I have like two very large drumsticks. Dun, 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 dun. I don't want to imitate like real drumsticks, because this can still break. It will break. And then I have to glue it again, and then I will be sad. Sad 80 noise. But this dries up really well. I guess, I hope, I think. This is the large one I glued today. So if the camera can just, you know, maybe I can use the other camera. Let's zoom out. Let's zoom out all the way. Yeah. So this is the large one. You can see it's quite a difference. Quite a difference. And this is the one that is already almost finished. That's the forgotten middle child. So yeah. So I guess this one is for the foreground. Those are for the background, and this is somewhere in between. Yo, like 3 power poles. Does it like, how does it look if I just, you know, space them out a bit, like? This stands surprisingly well. Or not. Normally this would stand, but I guess not here on this point of... it stands, it stands. So let's space them out a bit. And how far can I zoom out? Oh, okay, that's all of it. So yeah, a couple of poles. Now they are just poles, not power poles, because we have to add the power equipment, the coils and the wires and so on. What's this? So basically we have like this as a cable. So it's from the packaging. So but I will just put them down because they will inevitably fall to the ground. This comes here. That's the lane package. So let's do some some bars, and then call it a day, I would say. But first, tea. Tea, 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 tea. Where is the cup? Where is the tea? Where is my keyboard? Everything got missing. Tastes so different without the dust in it. Hey. Of course I put this where the samples are. Guess I can use this one. That's a nice sheet. Okay, so there is a ruler that is also quite dusty. Somewhere is a knife. Everything got missing. Everything got missing. Oh no. Okay. Let's grab another one then. It's always good to have multiples of one tool, so you don't have to search them. Just grab another one. Eventually they will all come back. Eventually. What's up with this? I've already messed up my ruler quite a bit with the knife, but this isn't the one I wanted to have anyways. This is like a really good ruler. It's a Aristo brand. It's an Austrian brand. It's made in my country. It's quite amazing, but it's already missing an edge here, and it's not the one that I wanted. I guess the one that I wanted, it isn't produced anymore, because this is usually for drawing purposes, like for ink. So if you're like doing some geometrical drawing stuff with ink, you can use this, and it has those knobs on the bottom, so that if you use it with ink, and if you do this, and if you make this move, that the ink doesn't get smeared all over the sheet of paper. But I would like to have this without the knobs, because first of all, if you press it down, you can't really produce pressure, because the only contact points are those knobs. And if you work with this on a soft material like cardboard and you press it down, the knobs will go into the cardboard and leave marks. So I wanted to have one without knobs, and this was like advertised on the website without knobs, but apparently this isn't produced anymore. I asked them, and they said no, that's just an old listing. We only sell those with knobs nowadays. So yeah, well, and apparently this is like industrial standard, so they all have knobs, because if you use them for their dedicated purpose, you know, this would be a good thing to have. And I know I could use like some metal ruler so that it doesn't get damaged when I cut it with the knife, but I don't like the metal rulers. They're so unwieldy, so heavy, and this is like, you can just measure, you can like use it as an angle measurement, like for 90 degrees and 45 degrees. I mean, they aren't cheap. Aristo stuff isn't cheap. You could just buy this for like $1 or $2 at the dollar store, but if you buy an Aristo in this size, it's like 20 to 25 bucks. So it's a premium ruler. And nowadays this is quite silly, because nowadays everything is done via electronic card programs. But back in my school days, if you had like Aristo stuff, you were like the king. It's like Aristo ruler and a Texas Instrument calculator. And a Casio watch. The Casio watch with the integrated like calculator and calendar and schedule. You were the king back then if you had those items. Because every plebeian had a Game Boy, but if you had a Casio watch, where you could like, basically there were two Casio watches that were cool. There was the one with the business functions like calendar and world time, and like you could store like phone numbers in there, even though nobody had like a cell phone yet. It was just like real landline phone numbers that were stored in the watch. And then there was the second Casio watch that was the even cooler one that could manipulate television sets. It had an infrared sensor to it, and some or most televisions from this time you could like switch the channel or turn off, turn on with your watch. And you can imagine if you had this as a child and at some point you had to experience a video cassette that was shown to you at school. You could manipulate the television set and nobody knew why the television set was freaking out. That was quite funny. Yeah, the knob got into the material. Why is everything on widescreen? Doesn't make any sense. I don't know if you can see this, I guess not, but yeah, there is a small indent here. Okay. So basically now I'm making small bars made out of cardboard and different materials in different sizes and shapes. And later on I will attach them to the power pole with some hot glue. Hot glue works surprisingly well to put this on there. I was asking myself how I would glue it on, but hot glue does the trick, at least in this case. Okay. Let's see if I can do this from here. No, I can't do this. Let's see. I have to try something. I have to try something. No, does this went well? Okay. Okay. So okay, I need 4 of them. Ah. The cool thing is about the garden, we have this greenhouse that we've put up last year. It was the one of the things that already were finished, and we put some plants in there, and I have this little bonsai tree that I bought like from the hardware store last summer, and I cared so much about the bonsai tree. And of course, a bonsai tree is just like a real tree. It tends to gets into winter stasis, and basically the leaves fall off during winter, even if you put it into a safe space like a glass, like a greenhouse. And it didn't was completely blank, so it still had a few leaves on there, but now it starts to regrow. So it makes me happy. So that it's always amazing, isn't it? So that the trees go completely barren during the winter, and then in spring, regardless of how cold it was, they come back and all the green shoots back, and it goes so fast actually, so really like it. All the nature comes back again. I mean, I like the winter. I doesn't mind the cold usually. I like the Christmas time, but after a long cold winter like we had here in my neighborhood, spring is also very nice. Soon we will have the sakura trees that are in bloom. It's quite early here compared to Japan. Guess it has to do with the climate. But there is this location in Vienna near the Danube River where they planted a couple of sakura trees, like the real deal, like in Japan. It's even like promoted by the Japanese embassy, and it's like was like a friendship thing. And they planted a couple, like 100 or 200 of them there. And each year they hold like a small, what is it called? Hanami? Yeah, Hanami, I guess. Festive thing. But the sad thing is, first of all, they do this, it's organized by Japanese schools around the area. So this is usually it's on a Thursday. So first day, a work day. So it is hard to attend without vacation. Second, it is like at the outskirts of Vienna. And the third, it's just for one day, for a couple hours, because like it's a school activity, so it's just in the morning or in the usually it ends like in the early afternoon. And of course, if it's bad weather, like if it's raining or basically rain, it will get cancelled without a second, without an alternative schedule. It just gets cancelled. And they have so bad luck with the weather all the time. This event took place like almost 15 or 20 times by now. Like it was scheduled at least. And the real happening, so that the event really took place, was like 6 or 7 times, I guess. So basically almost 50% chance that it gets cancelled because of the weather. And there is an even lower chance that it's during the full bloom of the sakura trees, because they have to find a slot where they can hold the festival, and they have to plan this in advance, of course. And the tree doesn't care. I mean, if it's warm, the tree will just bloom earlier. And since we have something called climate change, it tends to get even earlier and earlier each year. So they track this down. They have like this schedule where you can see when was the bloom starting, when was full bloom, and when was the festival, and how things overlap. But yeah, it's such a sweet thing. I attended it only like 2 or 3 times. Of course, they also got cancelled during COVID and stuff. So yeah. But if you just care about the trees and not so much about the festival itself, if you look around with open eyes, you can see a couple sakura trees around everywhere, like in Vienna or in the suburbs. They are not so hard to find. And let's be honest, there are trees that look similar to sakura blossoms, all kinds of them. And they don't look that bad either. I mean, even our normal cherry blossom, it's a bit white, like the fruit cherry you can actually eat. It's not too bad either. Then we have plum, so it's all kind of pretty. Yeah. Hanabi fireworks. I don't know if the sakura thing, I know that there is like alcohol involved in Japan, but fireworks I don't know. It's just a summer thing, because if you have like what is it called, koi koi cards, there are 2 special cards. It's like is one drinking in the moonlight and one is drinking at the sakura blossom. So there's like 2 special cards that give you, I guess, instant points. Hanafuda cards, yeah, Hanafuda cards. Not Koi Koi is just like a game you can play with Hanafuda cards. I guess it's like you can play different style of games with a normal card deck, like with a poker card deck, and then you can play different things with Hanafuda cards. But Koi Koi was the only thing I could really play. It's like the Uno of Japanese card games. It's very easy to learn and to understand. God, I miss the days when I could still play mahjong at the club in Vienna. I mean, I can play mahjong on the PC as well, but it's not the same. First of all, you can't talk to the people on Tenno. If you want to have the real mahjong experience, if you want to talk to people, you better get a Final Fantasy XIV subscription, because this is still the most convenient way to play mahjong, like worldwide, with other people in a ranked system. But the bad thing about online gambling, like skill-based gambling, like poker or like mahjong, is that you don't really learn the game. Because in Mahjong you have to know certain hands, you have to know certain points, how much those hands are worth. And also you have to be careful not to call the wrong tile. And on the PC you basically can't make any mistakes. PC says to you when you can go reach, or PC says when you are forwritten, or PC tells you the points you made with your hand. So if you only play PC, you basically never learn to count like I do. So most of the time I just played online, so I don't know how to count properly. I know certain hands, but not all of them. So if you play with real people, you basically just annoy them because you have to be babysit all the time. So yeah. And with poker it's the same. Basically I can play Texas Hold'em on a PC or on a terminal, because you just play it, you click around and see what happens. But if I play it with like real people on a table, I really can't do it. So once again, now I have my straws. This I would have need this with like the dust, so I can make this one. Huh? You have to do the quests in the right order. I see. Obtain certain key items. Huh. I still have to try on the shirt. I have to switch out the tracking and get naked. Try on the shirt. How it fits. Ultimately, it will. I will tell myself I should have ordered the medium size. But at least I have the excuse that there was no medium size available, so I went with the large. But it's not a bad thing, so I can gain some weight and still wear the shirt, so not bad. Last week I was working on a new mock-up while watching and listening to your live. Oh, that's nice. That photo actually came out exactly how I imagined it, so personally I'm really proud of it. Yeah, it was a really good photo, to be honest. I was really... It took me by surprise to see this. Of course, two very popular characters right now. This also helps. Not in my case, because I don't care about Freeren or the Apple taking stuff things. I don't know the story, but I know that they are pretty well received shows. Now I'm going to start working on something bigger, so it will probably take me a bit longer to finish. And today, for the first time, I tried copying parts from Gundams for my husband. Copying parts from Gundams? So you mean like modeling it like online, or doing like a 3D scanner? Wow. No, Mahjong is not complicated. I mean, I guess it's more complicated than like other like gambling games, but it's also a cool thing if you can play it, because not many people can do it. The main bad thing about Mahjong as a social game is that you need 4 players to play it. You can't play, technically you can play it with 3, but that's not really a valid option. So you need 4 players, and 4 players that can play the game. That's a bit of a hurdle. So basically most card games you can just basically play against each other. Like basic social card games that you can play in like an inn setting, like with older people. I don't know how many people you need for poker. I guess is it determined? Do you need like also 4 or 5 people? I mean, I always see like at least 4 or 5 people sitting on a table, but I don't know if it's necessary. But with Mahjong it's pretty much necessary that the game works. So yeah. But yeah, I'm looking forward to your photo projects. And don't stress yourself if it takes a bit longer. I know how this feels if you have like all those work ahead and basically it takes you forever to finish something, and you see all the other people are like putting out constantly new photos and new things and content, and you're stuck with this like set, but it doesn't really care. I mean, it's just a thing to enjoy the making of a diorama. I mean, this is also the same with like streaming. I mean, I can sit here for hours and just basically do the same 3 steps over and over again. It's not really entertaining to watch. I mean, in order to be entertaining, I would rather play video games, because then at least something is always happening on the screen and you can follow along. Either if it's like a fun skill-based game, or if it's like a playthrough to a story-driven game. So I can understand why like live streaming started out mainly through video games as a medium. But yeah. Made a silicone mold. We cast the part several times until we got the result. That sounds really cool, to be honest. Because the other day when I put together the body for the dress-up grand scale thing, they always make it so that you basically have 2 bodies, but there is 1 or 2 or 3 parts missing, so that you don't have 2 bodies. So you just can swap different parts and combine them, but you don't have like 2 complete models. And I was thinking, I have a 3D printer. I'm sure someone put down the files and I might find something. And then I was thinking, you know what is missing with all my things I have now? A 3D scanner. So I guess this year later, before I will start with airbrush, where I think I don't see the need for an airbrush set, to be honest, right now. I would rather invest into a 3D scanner and maybe scan my own miniatures. It would like basically having a real-life shrink ray, like a super villain, but I would use it for miniature stuff. So I would scan it, scale it down, and print it. It's like some real-life Ant-Man stuff, but just for entertaining, not for villainous purposes. How is this drying? Is this? It gets a bit darker. Okay, not lighter, but darker. But still okay. Yeah. It's okay. But luckily, since 3D printing is now such a like common thing to do, I mean basically the technology is like mainstream. It's not like really mainstream, but most people. So if you need a model of something, chances are high it's already there. But if you have really special interests, I guess there are still something you can't easily download and print. So yeah. But I can imagine it is quite hard to cast off some Gundam parts, because they tend to be rather small, so. I can do some 3D scanning with an app, yeah. I mean, I'm sure I can. I can recall, I guess 2 years ago I watched one of those, what was it called, the the Apple presentation when they revealed the new iPhone. Was it like 14 or 13? I don't know. When they had this big thing that you can scan with your iPhone and just basically put things into augmented reality and stuff. And I heard that an iPhone is pretty much... I know some people don't like iPhones, but if you are like someone who is like into video or VTubing or basically 3D scanning, they are really good. So it just basically is a good investment, not as a phone, but as a creative tool. Then I heard that you can basically modify a Connect console thing as a 3D scanner. But then again, I'm a person who wants to have it like plug and play. I'm not a guy who wants to tinker around with your electronics. I want to have a stuff and put it just like my 3D printer. I want to put it on the shelf, plug it in and print. So yeah, I guess I can use a dedicated 3D scanner. I mean, I have to look into what models are good, what are good like models and stats, because I don't really are in the know, but at least the promise sounds awesome to just scan stuff. And I mean, everybody knows those, like, are they like fake? I guess they were real and now they are fake, but those like pictures that are AI generated where people create their own miniature figures from themselves. So you have like, you know, yourself as an action figure. I guess it started as a real thing because I knew companies that put you on a large 3D scanner and basically like scan you as like almost like an MRT, and then print out like a small figure, like really low res. They never looked quite good, and of course they are like just prints, not polished or not painted. But then they got like this crazy AI thing going on where everybody created an image from themselves as an action figure. Some iPhone have LiDAR. Yeah, I thought so. So yeah, it's iPhone, gotta say. When it comes to camera technology and basic sensoric things, quite good. Okay, it's almost so late already. So let me see. How big is this? 15. So I can go 7, 70, 89. I guess those are the last 2 beams I will glue together today. After that I have to tidy up this place. Friday full-time streams are always a bit more messier than the plastic model streams because, you know, I actually do stuff and not just sit around and stick together a few plastic parts. If I can do a stream on Monday, I will just work on Emma again with the paints. That is really, I mean, it is cool to paint them. Not gonna lie, the paints feel nice to work with, but it's like the mixing and the small tubs and the excess paint, and you have to, you know, three strokes of a brush, and then you have to wash it and use another color, and it's not the most satisfying workflow, I gotta say, but I don't know. Maybe I get used to it. Hopefully it will look better. Right now I can't really say how the result is, because it's not finished yet and none of the parts are, and even if they were, they are so glossy right now, so I can really tell after the top coat is on. And hopefully the work pays off, because if not, then bummer. But if I don't have time to stream, at least I have now all the parts that I use for the Marin review, so I can finish that one hopefully in March as well. March already halfway through, it's unbelievable. And if March is over, 1/4 of the year is already gone, so yeah. Really, time flies, but at least in a few weeks there will be chocolate again from all the Easter bunny stuff. Because for some reason, even if it's the same type of chocolate or the same brand of chocolate, if it's an Easter bunny shape, it tastes better. Especially the ears. If you bite off the ears, it's always the first. Is there any other way to eat an Easter bunny than like start from the ears? Is it like a thing where this, like those fish you eat to New Year, where you have to bite them off the tail? Are there people like starting at the bottom of the Easter bunny chocolate figure? That would be interesting. I mean, there is the technique where you smash it all together. I also noticed, like, because let's be honest, it tastes good, but it's not like the most fun to eat, because you basically you bite it off and then it crumbles together, and of course it's so expensive, huh? Compared to normal chocolate. You pay the mold tax. You pay the mold tax. By the way, if you have those silicone forms, makes me think about, because you can print parts, but if you have the silicone forms, you can also make the parts out of something else. So how about a chocolate Gundam? It would be possible, wouldn't it? Just was this ever done by some person to make a chocolate Gundam? I'm sure there were some people who did this. It would be tough to get it like into motion, like fully articulated with like ball joints, but like as a static, I could totally see that someone already did this chocolate Gundam or chocolate plastic mecha thing. basically just a very advanced gingerbread house building. A Weep Easter, yes. I mean, like bunny girls, bunny chocolate figure, I mean, is this something that it's not that well recognized in Japan, I think. Do they celebrate Easter? I mean, as a commercial concept, like they do Christmas. I mean, doesn't have to be religious, just like buying stuff. But I don't think they do as much as we do. So, because otherwise there would be like some nice anime-styled bunny figures made out of chocolate. But I guess it's more like a furry thing with the bunnies, so maybe it's that. Aren't also that much good Easter movies. It's kind of funny that Easter is basically the most important holiday or like festive cycle into the Catholic Church, but it basically feels like a second tier Christmas. Like Christmas is like the biggest event, like gets all the cool stuff, like the decorations, the music, the movies, the trees, the sweets, everything. But Easter is far more important if it comes to religion, but it feels like such a second tier holiday. We also want to try copying a few parts for our models. I wish you a good night. Tomorrow my husband and I will catch up on being of life, and of course we'll finish watching it too. We'll also watch Plumber. My husband really loves it. See you next time. Yeah, see you. Thanks for dropping by the stream. I will also like call it quits now, so if you could stick around for the raid would be great. Otherwise, never mind. Because it's also well past midnight, and did I finish what I want to do? You can stick around for the end screen. There is now an end screen. I made the end screen. Oh my god, so much to do. I want to try on the shirt, but I guess this has to wait till Monday. I will present the shirt on Monday when I don't wear the apron. So yeah, let's call it quits, shall we? One last sip of tea, and then let's see what to raid, where to raid, when to raid. Okay, let's see. Okay. Where is this? There is it. Okay, someone who's online. Okay. Let's see. Luke's missing hand is online. We will raid him, and yeah, have a good night. I will now show you the new end screen for full time, and take care out there, and see you next Friday or next Monday for another live stream. And yeah, hope you enjoyed it. Bye.